Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program we set for the conversation. And of course, just to let you know, the traffic situation across town is still looking very, very good. If you're coming into Lagos, it's very, very nice on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Same for your movement on the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway as well. It's looking good. Ojo and Badagry Way is looking good. And those of you making that journey to the island, Lagos, making use of the Third Milan Bridge is also very, very good. All right, so on Maritime Today, we're exploring strategies for a vibrant maritime sector in Nigeria. And joining me on the phone line right now, Dr. Samuel Dayo Ebidunmi is an energy, maritime, and supply chain consultant, and he's linking up with us via the phone line. Dr. Ebidunmi, it's nice to have you. Good morning.
Good morning, Victor. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Right. So the last time we had you on this program was sometime in 2023. So how are things faring with you since then?
Well, it's fine. Everything is fine. The industry is actually very challenging now, and we all hands just have to be on deck.
Right.
We have to work extraordinarily hard to keep up with the pace.
Right.
So it's been both rough and beautiful, right?
Right.
It's rough, but it's beautiful, and we're tough, so we keep going.
Good, which is very good. So, but let's translate that now to the entire industry, the maritime sector, which some have described as the gold mine of the Nigerian economy. So, how would you describe it so far, so good?
Well, so far so good. We are just we are making progress. We are not making commensurate progress. We are just making marginal progress. The industry is surviving. There's a whole lot of challenges, but then we are surviving. And the truth is that the ocean can never run dry, so the maritime industry will always continue to remain.
Okay, so that means you're just looking for some clinical ways of describing. Some have said a helpless situation. Some have described the industry as being very, very dull right now. Some have said the maritime sector, as it is today, is far from what they were anticipating. So, but in your own description, you say we're making marginal progress. What is responsible for your assessment? How did we find ourselves there?
There's a whole lot of problems bedeviling the maritime industry, from infrastructure to regulation, to the impact of the foreign exchange challenges that we have in the country. Because, the maritime industry is a service industry. What we do is we ensure that, there's a flow of goods and services. So when there is any challenge or problem that, is impeding trade, which is what drives the flow of goods and services, definitely we will have some slowdowns in the industry.
Right.
Without goods, there will be no need for ships. So without trade, there will be no need for ships.
Right.
So if there's anything affecting trade, then it's also affecting shipping.
Okay, let's put it in the proper perspective now, Dr. Ebidunmi. So before now, we used to say things are really, really picking up, things were moving on. And some have said the absence of policy, or perhaps it's not the absence of policy, that we've always had policy formulation, but the implementation was always a problem. All right, let's dig into it now. Last year, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu set up a ministry solely devoted to marine and a blue economy. And people have championed that move as perhaps one of the moves that will revive the sector. Now, since the announcement of that particular ministry, would you describe it as something that has really come on stage to really change the narrative, or are we still where we are?
Okay, this is a very tricky question. Many don't really understand the essence of having the marine and blue economy ministry. The truth is that nothing has really changed. The coming of the military doesn't really change anything. All activities in the different sectors continue to remain the way they are, and if there are drivers for progress, those same drivers are still needed. The creation of the ministry is not changing anything. It's simply an organizational shift. It's just a reform on how the activities in the marine industry has to be administered. Okay,
All
so
right.
before now, we know that we have the maritime industry under the
Under
Ministry of
transportation.
Transport.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, but now we have it as a full-fledged ministry. Okay, and not just a full-fledged ministry dealing with maritime transportation, but also a ministry that is responsible for, coordinating other activities that are not under the maritime industry,
Right.
but which have their activities, centered around the oceans, okay, and the seas, like fishing, research activities that happen, in the ocean, like so many other activities, tourism that is associated with the ocean, and even oil and gas operations, that are happening offshore, and other activities around the oceans, which may not necessarily fall under the Ministry of Maritime or Transport, as the case may be.
Okay.
But now the responsibility for coordinating all of that, all of which comprise the blue economy, is now in is now the responsibility of
that
the
ministry.
maritime of that ministry. Okay, so what the ministry needs to do is, okay, we all have one goal. At the end of the day, it's from the oceans, one goal. We want to maximize what we get from the ocean. We want to ensure that as we are tapping resources from the ocean, making progress and profit from the ocean, we are also sustaining the environment to ensure that our future generations would also continue to benefit from the same ocean resources.
All right.
So that is just what it's about. It doesn't really mean that there is something coming out of the blues to come and change the, to come and make us progress, so to say. No, for us to progress, we still need to do the basic things that we need to do. Put infrastructure in place, put policies in place, ensure transparency, and make sure that we are able to generate data on all activities, which we can use, to analyze and then understand, the dynamics of the industry, and where to make changes or reforms to ensure that we progress.
All right, so let's look at the issue of infrastructure, which you just mentioned now, which has been a challenge. I think we've made one or two steps. I mean, the coming on stream of the Lekki Deep Sea Port is an added advantage to making things better, especially in terms of shipping. In terms of infrastructure, what else? And how would you assess this? Where are we in terms of making things better for the maritime sector in Nigeria?
Okay, I'm going to have to say, thank you for this question. I'm going to have to say the truth, the truth by my opinion. Okay, when it comes to assessments, right, we need to be objective. Without objective assessment, whatever assessments we are making are just assumptions, and maybe singing praises here and there, or just trying to criticize here and there. We need to have data. We need to understand why different things are being done. All right. Is there a master plan? Is there a maritime master plan for this country? Have we identified what the issues are? Have we identified the problems we have? Have we identified what we need to do? Where do we need to situate this infrastructure? What level of infrastructure should we have here? What is the effect that this is going to have on which aspect of the economy? We have not really done that. Okay. So, yeah, what we are practicing is what Professor Kingsley Moghalu described in one of his speeches as ad hocism. We just come up with something and then put it together, and then we start singing praises of it. What is the actual effect? What is the essence of whatever we are doing? So if we don't have data, we don't have an analysis, we don't have a plan on the basis of which we are doing what we are doing, then what is the goal?
Okay, so
we need to identify. Yeah.
So I'm curious,
okay,
if you say that
yes,
perhaps we're not really making much effort in this regard. I just told you now that for infrastructure purpose, the Lekki Deep Sea Port came on stream. We've had so many other terminals that are also springing up here and there. The rail networks are being increased from time to time. Don't you think that's a marginal effort by the government to ensure that at least the supply chain for shipment of cargo is improved? Don't you think that's a win-win for us?
When you look at the Lekki Seaport and you look at, all the pictures and the videos, and you go there and you see, the level of, you see the huge things that are put on ground. You might just be, you might just be sentimental. You might be carried away to just say, wow, this is something good and all that. But as professionals, we don't do that.
Okay.
As professionals, we ensure that we analyze things objectively. And objectivity is something that is lacking. So now, have you been to Lekki Seaport? Have you
Yes,
have you ever traveled down there by road? You will see that there is this gridlock. There's traffic gridlock. So if you want to move from Lagos mainland to Lekki Seaport, sometimes it takes you close to 3 or 4 hours. A journey which should not take more than 45 minutes on a good day, right? But so you start asking questions. You see trucks, on the road. You see different things, So and then when you get to Lekki Seaport,
if I'm going to speak to that, Dr. Ebidunmi, I know that the plan for that particular axis, I know that the roads that the trucks are going to be carrying this cargo is meant to navigate through Ekpe, from there to Djibouti, and then to the further northern side of town. Most of the roads within that corridor are fully concretized. They are pavement roads that have been well designed. Well, for that area, I would say a lot of things are really happening. And even from the plan that I've seen on ground, especially shipment of cargo from that deep sea port, linking up with those roads that will take those cargo out of Lagos, I think they have something in store. But let's even go beyond that. Let's talk about, you have described the infrastructure not very, very adequate. What about the manpower? Those who are heading the regulatory agencies within the maritime sector, how are they performing from your assessment?
Okay, so thank you. It's not very easy to just do a subjective appraisal of the performance of those in those ministries, okay, or those agencies responsible for regulation. There is a lot involved, so it's not just about them. There are laws and legislations. There is also the overarching influence from the ministries. Okay, so if we must do this, we have to look at it holistically. Okay, so holistically, we say that what we are seeing is not. There's a lot of progress that's been made. There are a lot of actions being taken here and there.
Right.
You can see. Recently, there were some blue economy enforcement officers that were. That graduated from their training.
Right.
You see these efforts, and then you see some statistics also to back it. Some data that, for example, since last year, we've not really had any serious maritime incidents, and then you see these things happening, all right? But like I said, we need to, until we articulate them, and then, align them to a particular goal or direction, we cannot say that we are making any concrete progress. Because at the end of the day, you ask yourself, where do we want to be in 5 years, in 10 years? How does this contribute to it? So we must be objective, and we must articulate, what we want to achieve.
Yeah,
properly.
So some have said, for you to give appointments to those who are heading these regulatory agencies, like NIMASA, like the Shippers Council, like NIWA, and even the Maritime Academy, that this should be solid, sound professionals who know their onions in this particular industry, rather than just bringing political influences or perhaps using such positions to satisfy their political friends. So is that what we are seeing right now? Or do you think the right professionals are being appointed into those positions?
Okay, thank you very much. We need to address the elephant in the house and stop concentrating on things that are not really that won't really give us results.
Okay.
Even if you go to the United States, that we are using as our benchmark most of the time, you discover that most people heading these different organizations, different government departments and parastatals are political appointees. All right. So the truth is, you are a political appointee, yes, but then you have directors, all right, who are supposed to be professionals. You have, officers, senior officers working in those ministries and departments. Those are the guys that really do the work.
Right. So,
all right? And then they advise the political appointees.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, let me just land. All right. So they have advised the political appointees. So that is not our problem. All right. What we need is the will to do the right thing. Once the will to do the right thing is there, even if you bring a medical doctor to head NIMASA today, he has people to advise him. Being a medical doctor simply means that you have some very good, education, and you have some very good level, some very good sense of judgment. All right, and then you can. So when ideas are presented to you, you can understand them, and then you give approval. Okay, so let us address the issue of whether we want to get things done the right way. It's not about really the professional. Yes, for our director level, we need to have these professionals, no doubt. All right, those are the executioners of the work. These are the people doing the work. All right, so the people at the top, they don't really need to be embroiled very much in the industry.
All right.
It's not like it's a good thing to have them. So an industry person at the helm of affairs, no doubt about it. All right. But it doesn't necessarily have to be because what criteria are you going to use at the end of the day? What is the criteria you are going to use to appoint the DG of NIMASA? For example, must the person be a seafarer? Must the person be an administrator? Must the person be someone who is a shipbroker? So there are several, aspects of professionalism in the industry. Which one are you talking about?
All right.
So, but what matters is that at the head of maritime safety, for example, there is a director that should be someone who is experienced in maritime safety.
Right.
All right. So shipping development, for example, someone who has experience in shipping development, and so on. So this is where the work gets done. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So let us focus on the real issues, and not just be embroiled in political appointments.
All right, then Lagos Traffic.
That's not really important.
All right, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, exploring strategies for a vibrant maritime sector in Nigeria, is our focus this morning. Dr. Samuel Dayo Ebidunmi is our guest. He's an energy, maritime, and supply chain consultant, and we're taking this to the classroom this beautiful morning. We're going to take a short break right now, but when we return, those who are stakeholders in the industry are groaning, especially with the rippling effect of inflation and the volatility of Forex. How can we tackle this to revamp the sector? These are many more my guests will be responding to, but a brief break, we'll be back.
Nigerian Shippers Council Day to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you. Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a needle. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468. For you, we Nigerian Shippers Council with the meeting for the port of Nanid. From A to B, from A to B, from north to south, from north to south, from east to west, from east to west, from port to port, from port to port. You can ship your goods and feel good too. Oh yeah, Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is a program, and we still exploring vibrant opportunities in making the maritime sector much more vibrant than it is today. And Dr. Samuel Dayo Ebidunmi is our guest on the program. He's taking us to the classroom this beautiful Saturday morning. All right, getting back to the roads, we did tell you most of the areas are still looking very, very good. Ikorodu Road receiving with good vehicular flow. If you're making that journey to the island, it's also good at the Third Mainland Bridge, and of course the Eco Bridge too. If you want to use that as your connecting point, it's still looking pretty good to go for now. All right, let's get back to the conversation. Dr. Ebidunmi, for some time now, especially this year, those who are stakeholders in the industry, those who do business at the ports, have been having some harrowing experiences. Some businesses are shutting down, even as we speak right now. They've talked about the volatile situation of the forex as a responsible reason why some of these things are happening. In your opinion, what is really the issue? What is causing...
Hello?
Hello? Let's take this call first of all. Hello there, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, who am I speaking with?
B from Sule.
Oh, B, you called earlier on during talk time.
Yes, I did. I'm enjoying the program.
Okay, B, I have Dr. Samuel Ebidunmi on the program, and we're looking at vibrant ways of reviving the maritime sector. You also want to join the conversation as well?
Yeah, I just want to ask Dr. Samuel just a short question.
Okay.
How can Nigeria as a whole, Lagos, Nigeria, integrate its maritime sector with other modes of transport?
Okay. Integration, right?
Yes, integration.
All right. Thank you so much.
Right.
I'm sure he's going to respond to that. All right. Maybe B is a bit concerned about some of the plethora of challenges which you mentioned earlier. But are there any plans of the maritime sector getting integrated, properly integrated into transportation, Dr. Ebidunmi?
Okay. I think we are already, the maritime industry is already integrated. Okay, so just the level of integration is still infantile. Ordinarily, the maritime sector, the ports receive cargo from the hinterland, okay, for exports, and also move cargo from the ports to the hinterland for imports. Okay, so integration here has to do with how well the ports are linked with other means of transportation like air, rail, and of course the road. Of course, we know that we have the roads and they are inadequate, and that's where the integration problem becomes very very obvious. Okay, so what we really need is having railways linked to our seaports, and that is something we have not achieved, but then there are a lot of efforts being made by government, but like I said, piecemeal efforts here and there.
Right.
But hopefully, with time, these efforts will come to fruition, and then we will have our ports
let's talk about
linked to the hinterlands.
Let's talk about the question I was just trying to relate to earlier on the forex and its impact on importation and exportation of goods. How would you describe the situation, and what do you think? What steps have been taken by government to really, intervene so that things don't get out of hand?
Okay, yeah. You don't need an expert to tell you that things are already out of hand. Let us call a spade a spade. The exchange rate fluctuations, the naira is actually extremely very weak now at over 1,000 naira, exchanging for a dollar.
Right.
And we know there are a lot of issues that contributed and combined and contributed to causing this situation. There is a whole lot of issues. There is the excessive demand for foreign exchange because of our huge import bill. There's also the price, the previous price fixing of the official market rates. We keep hailing previous governments that the exchange rate was low under them, but the truth is that the exchange rate that was fixed under this previous administrations did not reflect the true position of our economy. It doesn't really tell us the position of the relationship between our imports and our exports, which is supposed to actually determine our exchange rate. And there's been lack of transparency even up till now. The management of foreign exchange in this country is still not, no matter how much of an expert you are, you can't really understand it in totality.
So would you have recommended a stable price, at least something stable for import duties?
No, I would never do that. That would be a disservice to the country to have a fixed exchange rate. The exchange rate must reflect the level of imports and exports. That it must reflect the market forces of demand and supply if we must actually make progress. Okay,
right.
So if we are importing so much and exporting so little, and then we want to have an exchange rate that reflects that things are normal, then we'll just be deceiving ourselves, and in the long run we'll have a lot of issues.
Right, there's some messages here for you.
That's what the situation has been previously, and that's why we are in this situation today.
All right, there's some messages here for you. This one says, "Hello, Traffic Radio. What strategies can be implemented to support small and medium enterprises in the maritime sector?" Okay. This is Chimeze sending this one in from Maza. This one, another one says, "How can Nigeria enhance its shipbuilding and repair capacities?" And then this one says, "Hi, I am Mike from Tinkan." Said Dr. Samuel, what strategies can be implemented to improve port infrastructure in Nigeria? Thank you. All right, so there's so many questions that are coming in for you. Another one here says, what are the prospects for maritime tourism in Nigeria? This is Alabi Idris sending that one in. So there are lots of questions that are coming in for you. But even as we gradually wind to the end, do you think there's a really strong strategy? And perhaps what do you think we need right now to ginger things once again and make the industry a maritime hub for African continent? What's your suggestion?
Okay, thank you very much. Things have already gone south, and it is going to take time. But within the time that it's going to take, the time it's going to take will depend on how serious and disciplined we are about what we need to do. The things we need to do there are a lot of things we need to do, but I'll just mention some key things that we need to do. First of all, we need to diversify our economy. There's no two ways about it. Okay. Reliance on oil exportation, we see where it has taken us to. Right now, we are not exporting as much oil as we used to export, and that's why we are having these issues now. So we need to diversify the economy. Nigeria is blessed with so much, and if we develop the different industries that we have, there is no two ways about it. We will be exporting more than even what we can export from oil, from the real sector. We have a lot to develop, so we need to focus on that. Every month, the state government get a lot of allocation. What do they use it for? We just spend it on, recurrent expenditure, and then next month we start waiting for the next allocation. Right. What percentage of what we are receiving are we investing in, the different sectors that we have? If go to, there is no state in this country that is not rich in agriculture, in minerals, and so many other things. Right. And it's simple. All we need to do is partner with, if we don't have the technology, partner with those who have the technology, have a very good contract, and then we start exporting.
All right.
I'm sure we can produce so much. We can produce all that we need, more than what we need, and then export.
Okay. All right. So, I'm sure there will be so much.
That is key.
Yeah. So you have a lot to really, really put to the table, but time not really our friend. But I must say a very big thank you to you, Dr. Samuel Dayo Ebidunmi, for connecting with us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor, for having me. I wish we had enough time so we could actually deal with these issues. Right. But hopefully there will be another time.
That's right. Okay, then. So we've been looking at best ways of revamping and revitalizing the maritime sector, and we're doing that through the viewpoint of Dr. Samuel Dayo Ebidunmi, who is a maritime and supply chain consultant. And of course, he's been able to take us to the classroom this morning. We have to go. Mike James has produced the program. I say a big thank you to him and to our social media team, Okpayemi Shodunke, and our executive producer, Taya Conley. I also want to appreciate Rebecca Adamu, Assistant Director of Public Relations for the Nigerian Shippers Council, for working tirelessly behind the scene for this program to come on stream. Next Wednesday, the program makes a return. But till then, my name is Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.
Nigerian Shippers Council Day to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you. Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B, with a measure within on a needle. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468. For you, we Nigerian Shippers Council with the meeting for the port of Nanid. From A to B, from A to B, from north to south, from north to south, from east to west, from east to west, from port to port, from port to port. You can ship your goods and feel good too. Oh yeah, Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.